Namaste everyone, this is Rupi Raja and today I will give the NFO review for Grow Nifty 500 Momentum 50 ETF Fund of Fund. Talking about this NFO, the launch date of this NFO is 3rd April 2025 and the end date is 17 April 2025. Allotment date for the NAV units will be on 25th April 2025. So talking about few elements of this NFO, FOF here refers to fund of funds. Fund of funds is a pooled fund that invests in other mutual funds. So the exit load of this mutual fund is 1% if it is redeemed within 30 days. So talking about how will the scheme allocate its assets, so it shows here the constituents of Nifty 500 Momentum 50 index will be 95% to 100%, and sometimes if opportunity is not there or if the market is falling very badly, then it will invest 0 to 5% in debt instruments or money market instruments. So talking about what is NFO, NFO refers to new fund offering, and new fund offer is the first time an investment firm offers a new mutual fund to the investors. It is just like an initial public offering but for mutual funds. The purpose of the NFO is to raise capital for the fund and attract new investors. Talking about mutual funds, what are they? A mutual fund is a financial vehicle that pools money from many investors to invest in a diversified portfolio of securities such as stocks, bonds, and other assets. Investors buy shares in the mutual fund, becoming partial owners of all its holdings, which allows them to benefit from professional management and shared cost. So, it is a perfect product for a retailer who doesn't have the time to follow stock markets. Talking about ETF are exchange traded funds, and it is a pooled investment vehicle structured as a publicly traded security designed to replicate the performance of a specific underlying index, sector, commodity, or asset class, with its shares listed and traded intraday on a stock exchange at market determined price. So ETF is just like a stock, but the value of the ETF is derived from all its holding. It is not a stock that has just a specific exposure. ETF is like a mutual fund unit, but it trades like a stock on the stock market. So ETFs are characterized by their passive management orientations, though active variants exist, offering exposure to a diversified portfolio while maintaining tax efficiency, low expense ratio, and intraday liquidity, distinguishing them from traditional closed-end funds or mutual funds with end-of-day net asset value pricing. You can imagine a ETF as a lunchbox with different snacks. You buy one box and you get a little bit of everything inside. It's sold on the stock market, so you can buy and sell it anytime during the day, just like trading a toy with your own friends. Think of ETFs as a way to own a small piece of many companies or many things at once without having to actually buy them all separately. So ETFs are simple and usually cheaper than mutual funds. So talking about main differences of ETFs from mutual funds, they are trading. ETFs can be bought and sold throughout the day on an exchange at fluctuating prices, while mutual funds are only priced and traded at the end of the trading day. Flexibility. ETFs offer more real-time trading flexibility, while mutual funds require you to wait until the market closes for transactions. Talking about minimum investments, ETFs typically have no or low investment values, just a price of a one share, whereas mutual funds often require a higher minimum to start. In short, ETFs are like a more accessible tradable cousin of mutual funds, often with lower cost and greater flexibility. Talking about this NFO, the fund manager is Nikhil Satam, and the past performance of this fund manager is okay because most of the fund managed by this fund manager under the Grow Fund House is new, and the focus is majorly on index funds. So I believe the manager will try to do their best to imitate the benchmark and give good returns. Talking about this mutual fund, the investment objective of the scheme is to generate long term capital growth by investing in securities of the Nifty 500 Momentum 50 index in the same proportion weightage, with an aim to provide returns before expenses that track the total return of Nifty 500 Momentum 50 index, subject to tracking errors. So talking about the 10-year CAGR of Nifty 500 Momentum 50 index, it is 18.6%, and Nifty 500 just gave a return of 12.9%. So on first view, it appears that yes, this is a very good CAGR, but you have to also see that this momentum fund has a huge drawdown as well. So even though this return here is very good, but you have to be very careful because whenever market becomes in a downtrend, then your returns can vanish very quickly. So even though this gives you good return, it can have a heavy drawdown on your portfolio. So if you are a like a risk trade, if you are a risk taking investor, then yeah, you can definitely look about this momentum 50 index. But I have a surprise for you as well. Before that, let me tell you about Nifty 500 momentum 50 index. So the Nifty 500 Momentum 50 Index is a stock market index in India that tracks the performance of top 50 stocks from the Nifty 500 universe using momentum as a score. And this 500 includes all the 500 largest companies listed on the National Stock Exchange of India or NSE. Talking about how this momentum is calculated, these 50 stocks are selected based on their momentum, which means they have to show strong price performance over the last 6 months and 12 months, adjusted for volatility and market capitalization. So momentum investing focuses on stocks that have been trending upward with the idea that they will continue to perform well in the near future. So talking about TRI, as you had seen here, Nifty 500 Momentum 50 TRI. TRI stands for Total Return Index. Unlike a price index, which only tracks the price movement of the stocks, a TRI includes both price appreciations and dividends and other payouts reinvested back into the index. This gives a more accurate picture of the total returns an investor would earn if they held the index. Talking about how this momentum score is done, here is the detailed representation of how a momentum score is calculated on basis of 6-month momentum and 12-month momentum. Fine. I will go in the reverse direction of how this calculation is done. In the end, normalized momentum score is calculated for every stock, wherein 1 plus weighted average Z score is given to the stock if the weighted average Z score is more than 0, and 1 minus weighted average Z score to the power minus 1 is given if weighted average Z score is less than 0. So talking about how the weighted average Z score is calculated for the stocks, here it shows that the weighted average Z score for a stock is 50% of 12-month momentum Z score plus 50% of 6-month momentum Z score. Talking about how this 12-month momentum Z score and 6-month momentum Z score is calculated, you can see here the 12-month momentum Z score is calculated using MR12 minus mean of MR12 divided by the standard deviation of MR12. You can see here MR12 is the 12-month momentum ratio of the stock. So MR is the momentum ratio of the stock. The mu MR12 is the mean of the 12-month momentum ratio of the Nifty 500 universe. So this is the mean of all the Nifty 50 stocks divided by the standard deviation of the 12-month momentum ratio of the Nifty 500 universe. So the momentum ratio is calculated for all 500 stocks, and the standard deviations means are calculated, and then this 12-month Z score is calculated. Similarly, for 6-month momentum Z score, the momentum ratio is calculated for 6 months, and the mean of the momentum ratio 6 month is calculated for all the Nifty 500 companies, and it is divided by the standard deviation of the 6-month momentum ratio of all the Nifty 500 companies. Talking about how this momentum ratio for 12-month and 6-month is calculated, you can see here the 12-month momentum ratio is calculated using the 12-month price return divided by the annualized standard deviation of log normal daily returns of the stock for 1 year. So assume that if a stock has given a return of 10%, so that 10% is written over here divided by the log normal. Log normal refers to the log with base E. Engineering students might get this. So that log is calculated for the daily returns of the stock for 1 year. So every year the return of the stock is calculated, and the standard deviation is calculated after the taking the log normal of the daily returns of the stock for the 365 days. So through that we get the 12 momentum ratio of the stock. Talking about how this 12-month price return is calculated, it is given here. So the 12-month price return is calculated using the price of the stock in the previous month divided by the price of the stock in the 13 months beforehand minus 1. Assuming like if you have to calculate the 12-month momentum price return for July 2025, it will have to calculate the price of this stock in the June 2025 divided by the price in the June 2024 of the stock minus 1. And here you can see that this appears a bit complicated, but all these mutual fund house have a dedicated Excel structure wherein they can easily calculate the Nifty 500 stocks momentum ratio and the normalized momentum score. My opinion, instead of going for a passive one like this that has been brought by Grow, you should go for a actively managed momentum funds, because during downturn these funds are able to restrict the loss to their investors. This passive funds are good, but it is not the best in the momentum situation, because the rebalance is very long in this mutual fund, which is around 6 months. If you know about the price action of a stock, you can easily realize that 6 months is a very long time, because what can happen is if some bad news comes for a stock, then it can be rapidly sold by the market and the price can crash very rapidly. So if you have money in a actively managed momentum fund, the fund house manager will quickly know that yeah, this stock is falling very badly, and he will quickly exit it and save your money. But in this passive mutual fund, even if a stock is falling, for example Yes Bank, when it fell, it continued to fall for 6 months, and the momentum mutual fund had to hold them for 6 months. But if you had a active managed momentum funds, then it would have minimized your losses. Currently there are like 6 momentum mutual funds that are active in nature, and some of my favorites include Nippon India Active Momentum Fund, Samco Active Momentum Fund, Quant Active Momentum Fund. And these all mutual funds have been recently launched, so there is not a lot of data on it, but I am very pretty confident about the skills of the fund manager and the expected returns. So these active mutual funds are something you can look at. Before investing in any of these mutual funds, please read their scheme details, see their expense ratio. And personally, I will not invest my money in any momentum fund as of now. I will prefer to invest my money in December 2025 or later, because there are certain indicators that you need to see in the market, and currently market is in a downtrend. Even the Trump tariff recently has caused huge fall in the market. So it is better to wait and watch with your money and focus on earning more money. When situation appears, I will of definitely make a video and you can put your money in active momentum funds. So most of the people watching this are retailers who have a full-time job. So I will suggest that if I want to have exposure in this momentum trading strategy, so I can allocate 10 to 20% of my money in active momentum funds and not passive mutual funds like this, along with more stable core investments like a Nifty 50 or broad market fund, rather than just a standalone bet on momentum fund. So yeah, even though if you have 100 rupees, instead of putting all 100 rupees in an active momentum fund, I would suggest yeah to put 10 to 20%, because you should get to know the flavor of how these active momentum funds behave before putting all your money in. So better to have a stable broad market fund, and with that 10 to you put 10 to 20% in active momentum funds. And yes, as I've already told, I will invest in momentum funds when I see that a market is in a bull phase. Currently market is in a downtrend till December 2025 at least, so I will invest my money in momentum funds later when I see some bull market indicators, like a share will shoots up rapidly and becomes leader for the next bull market. For example, you would have seen that public sector banks and railway stocks in 2022 shoot up very fast, and they showed that yes, the market is in a bull cycle. So suitability for different investor types: if you are a conservative investor, you can give this passive momentum fund a skip. If you are a balanced investor, you can go for active momentum funds, but not now, after December 2025 or later. If you are an aggressive investor, then also you focus on earning money and go for investing in active momentum funds only after December 2025. If you are a goal oriented investor and you are saving your money for a car or for your kids marriage, then you should avoid this passive momentum fund. If you are a passive investor, then yes, instead of putting all your money in Nifty 500 index or a grow Nifty 500 total market index fund, you can put 20 to 50% of your money, I'm sorry, you can put 10 to 20% of your money in this passive mutual fund. Talking about if you are an active investors, you can go for stocks instead. And if you don't want to go for stocks and you want to get a taste of momentum investing, then yes, you can go for active mutual funds. If you're a young investor and you don't have a lot of money, then I will suggest to go for active momentum funds, but not now, after December 2025 or later, when the current stock market will continue to rise, because currently the stock market will continue to go down till December 2025. If you are a diversified investor and you have allocated good percentage of your portfolio to gold, large cap, mid cap and small cap funds, then yes, you can also allocate 5 to 10% to active momentum funds. If you are a speculative investor and you have a very short term mindset, I would suggest to go for large cap funds, because over the next 2 to 3 years, based on my assessment, I feel that you can easily make 10 to 12% return in large cap funds. So thank you. This is Rupi Raja. Hope you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and comment down your comments based on the review of this NFO. Thank you. This is Rupi Raja.